All right, number 2, we got Jay-Z. Now, this is a long post alert, y'all. All right, this is gonna take me some time to really get through this commentary right here. All right, so obviously, we all know by now who holds the top spot on this list if it wasn't Jay. This is the perfect opportunity to explain the reason why. But first, I must preface the statement with the following facts. Now, I'm not going into the story dating all the way back to the Marcy days, which have been validated by not just the media, but I have family that actually grew up in the same building with him when they used to call him Big Lip Sean. The dicey upbringing is all founded, info as we know. But we must pay respect to the fact that he has been a part of rap and the hip-hop scene since the late 80s and early 90s with his homie Jaz-O, you know, the Hawaiian Sophie and originators, and known as Kane's hype man, which is how he got his first stage performance on tour with Kane. So the historical representation of his craft and artistry has been established. But 1995 was the year that it all began to pick up. Him and Dame formed Rockefeller Records, and in 95 he dropped the In My Lifetime single and video. Had a few features on Mike Geronimo's album with Ja Rule and DMX, and then with Big L. So he was making his rounds, which led up to his grand entrance in 96 with the bonafide classic Reasonable Doubt. This was Jay's version of Illmatic. No real radio-friendly tracks, but it was pure hip-hop. From the track Can't Knock the Hustle all the way to Regret, legit non-skip album. This followed the same formula that was set by Nas in Illmatic. The album also was released the same summer as Nas' second album, like literally a week before. This also set the tone of how Jay sometimes trolled Nas from the very beginning. Ever since then, there have been a few instances where he dropped his album right before Nas did, if they happened to be dropping that same year. He did it with Reasonable Doubt, we just said. Did with The Blueprint 1 and 2, and Kingdom Come. Check the record, pun intended. You also have to recognize the fact that Jay figured out the formula to be the poster child rapper. And I think that Big set that blueprint, and he was about to become that poster child rapper of having the best combination of the streets and radio hits, but he didn't have an extended career. After Big died in 97, there was a scramble for the crown. Big and Bad Boy created the formula, fusing the streets with pop culture when they ushered in the Jiggy era. Jay took that blueprint, added a little more mafioso style to it, introducing us to Cristal. Before then, it was all about Moet and Don P. The difference between the 4.0 and the 4.6. Nobody even knew what a Range Rover was that much before then. And let's not forget about the platinum jewelry. Man, in the late 90s and early 2000s, there was so much sterling silver floating around, trying to keep up with the Joneses, you wouldn't believe it, man. Okay, so now we got Reasonable Doubt, Game Changer in 96, but it had a slow start as far as reception, even though now it's been revered as one of the greatest hip-hop albums ever. 97, we have In My Lifetime Volume 1, which gave us the platinum jewels, Cristal, and his Pause, hardest track to date, Where I'm From, hands down. In 98, we have Volume 2, 5 times platinum, which gave us the Hard Knock Life song, Bentleys and Rolls Royces. In 99, he had Volume 3, 3 times plat. Jehovah was introduced to us and gave us Do It Again, Big Pimpin', So Ghetto, Dope Man, Come and Get Me, Quiet Banger. Is That Your Chick? Another one of my favorites. I'll Do Anything, Quiet Banger. The Hova songs, Girl's Best Friend, Jigga My Ninja. Some say he went a little too commercial on this album, but that's debatable. This was also the time when he started to incorporate Timbaland in his production. Of course he's going to get the hottest producer to give him the hottest tracks. It's part of the formula. Then in 2000, the Rock La Familia project, 2 times platinum, was originally set to just be a collab album, but Def Jam deemed it a Jay-Z joint. Not my favorite, but with the help of Kanye and the Neptunes, this also gave us certified bangers like Give It To Me, 1-900 Hustler, This Can't Be Life, Stick to the Script, Guilty Until Proven Innocent. So now, that's what, 5 in a row? And in 2001, he dropped what I think was the album where he could have just retired and rode off into the sunset with the Blueprint. Triple plat, dropping on September 11, 2001. So this has a place in history for various reasons. Not just for the obvious ones in relation to the date, but this album ended up in the Library of Congress for further preservation. Now, this album was anticipated so much that I was able to download the leaked version like in July, August of that year. And when I tell you, I was straight parking lot pimping off the fact that I had the new Jay-Z playing out of my system before anybody else could rock it. Come on, son. You can imagine. I was living in that life, all right? We had Izzo, Girls, 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 Song Cry, Renegade, even though M got him on that track. And he jacked that from Royce. It's kind of a double whammy, bro. All I Need, Takeover, The Rule Is Back, You Don't Know, Never Change, Heart of the City, and the Blueprint, the Mama Love Me song, Breathe Easy, and the Girls, Girls remix. Yo, my man could not miss with this album. Honestly, I stopped buying full Jay-Z albums after this one. I was done. I didn't know more after that. You know what I'm saying? But yet, in 03, he went on to drop the Blueprint 2 and 2.1, double platinum. Had the Excuse Me Miss, the remix to You Don't Know, the Punjabi song, the 03 Bonnie and Clyde. It opened the 4040 Club in New York City. I thought he was done after that album. Then what? The Black Album, triple platinum, which was a solid solid album. I'm not gonna hold you. Black Album was better than I thought it was gonna be. Gave you What More Can I Say, Change Clothes, Dirt Off Your Shoulder, 99 Problems, Lucifer, and PSA. Come on, that's some joints on there. 06, followed that up with the Kingdom Come album, which was middle of the road if you ask me. I had a few joints in there, but I personally wasn't impressed. It still charted well and sold well. By then, he made up with Nas and was a businessman extraordinaire. Hence him making the album in tandem with the movie American Gangster, that for some reason, a lot of people like that album. To me, it was another lukewarm method, but you know, it did have some joints like Rock Boys and I Know. Blueprint 3 drops the following year, which is what, 11th album, and gives us DOA, Run This Town, Empire State of Mind, another anthem, On to the Next, Off That, and Venus and Mars. Yours Project went 3 times platinum, won 6 Grammys, and broke a record for his 11th consecutive #1 album, breaking Elvis's record. Crazy. 2013, Magna Carta Holy Grail drops, and tracks like Holy Grail, F Me You Know I Got It, Tom Ford, Picasso Baby, Oceans, one of my favorite joints, Somewhere in America, and On the Run. Alright, so he's giving us joints, but you know what I'm saying, consistently. Can't forget about the Watch the Throne album, what I talked about with Kanye, which is 5 times plat. With bangers like Paris, No Church in the Wild, Got to Have It, New Day, Made in America, Ham, Illest Mofo Alive, Prime Time, The Joy, and finally, he decides to hang it up with 444 album. He used his own streaming platform of Tidal to release it. The album went on to go platinum, but he was leaving a mark more than trying to make sales. I truly believe he did this as a business move of another type in cahoots with his now wife, as a project that this was kind of like a confession on wax to that Lemonade joint that she pulled a little bit earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot of making up and crying in that joint, B. Songs like the story of OJ, Family Feud, Bam, and Moonlight were the lead tracks. After this effort, you may have seen Jay move to higher rankings of the executive board of the NFL, be more outspoken on prison reform, and help artists like Wayne with his taxes, and 21 Savage with immigration cases, and so on. Needless to say, I don't have to defend his body of work, lyrically or anything. This career, some would say, is a perfect career, but maybe too perfect. Now, I'll say this. I can respect the fact that Jay was able to be one take Jay and remember everything, but it's something about the art form when you take time with it to like sit on a thought and write about it or whatever. Magic happens when you write. I'm bringing him #2 as the best at conceptualizing mentally, and you're able to reflect it back immediately. That takes true talent. That is not easy to do. So I'm reading this and I'm still stumbling. So like I was saying, was it too perfect? We can't put it past us. The talks of him being part of the secret societies that his own boys would validate. Jaz-O was on record validating this stuff in the beginning, a long time ago. It was almost like he sold his soul. But you know, that's a story for another show. We're not here to talk about that. Outside of that, his track record is like a train. Undeniably could be the greatest. Scored a perfect 20 out of 20. Albeit true, why didn't he get the top spot? Guess you gotta stay tuned.
It's right here, all right?